So you want to buy a house? Well, today I'm going to help set you up for success and prepare you so you can have the best possible buying experience. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Wesley Cousineau. I'm a local realtor with eXp Realty here in Orangeville, Ontario. Today, I'm going to help prepare you to buy a home. This video is going to be an overview of my buyer consultation, and it's going to be the conversation that I sit down and have with buyers when I first meet them and they tell me that they're ready to buy a home. This is an important conversation to have because not only will it educate you on what the buying process entails, but it's also going to prepare you for what can go wrong along the way. It's very important that processes and procedures are outlined before you even begin the home buying process. That way there's no surprises along the way. Any good agent won't start the home buying process with a new client without sitting down and having this conversation with them, or at the very least, doing this over the phone. When somebody comes to me and tells me they want to buy a home, the first thing I talk about when we sit down is your why. I need to know what your motivation is. Do you need to move? Do you want to move? Is this for monetary reasons, or are you looking to expand your family and you just need more space or a home that better suits your lifestyle? We need to explore all of your options. Digging deep into your why is going to help me get to know you better and what your needs really are. This is a very crucial step because it allows us to open up to each other, and it's the first part of us building a relationship and establishing trust between us. The next thing we're going to discuss is your basic financial situation. What are your savings? How much debt do you have? If you have a large amount of outstanding debt that may affect your borrowing power, it might also make sense to put together a financial plan instead and have you work on building your credit or bringing your debt down first. We'll also touch on pre-approvals. We need to get this out of the way because we will not start looking at houses without one. You need to know why it's so important and how this can actually help you in going through the home buying process and make it easier for you. Going over your basic financial situation is going to give us a really good indication of whether or not it even makes sense to proceed with the rest of the process. Once we've established your why and determined that you're financially ready to purchase a home, we can then move on to your wish list and market conditions. This is basically, what are your expectations? We have to take a look at what your family lifestyle is. What do you need in a home? We'll go over your needs, wants, and what are your negotiables. Does your wish list and budget align with what's currently selling in the marketplace? Having this conversation early on is either going to avoid disappointment when we do start to see homes, or it's going to let us know that your wish list and budget is in line with the current market conditions. It's all about setting expectations early on. We'll then discuss documentation. We're going to talk about all of the documents that you'll be signing from start to finish that are all going to come up at different points throughout the home buying process. It's very important to know what, when, and why you're signing the documents that you're going to be signing. This is going to ensure there's no surprises when the documents do come up to sign, but it's also going to speed up the process when it comes time to submit an offer. Documentation is important to discuss because at some point throughout the buying process, you will be providing personal information. I like to go over this with my buyers before the process even starts. That way you know exactly why you're providing the information that is needed. One of the most important documents that we'll be going over is the Buyer Representation Agreement, or as you may have heard, a BRA. I like to bring this up early on because it's a very important piece of the puzzle. The Buyer Representation Agreement is a contract that is signed between myself, the agent, and you as the buyer. A buyer can only have one BRA signed at a time. BRA is a contract between myself, the agent, and you as the buyer, and it tells me that you are committed to working with me and allows me to give you 110% of my effort. I like to get these signed after a few showings. Think of it as like dating. It allows us to get to know each other before really committing to each other. Not only is it possible for you to not like me, but I may not particularly enjoy working with you either. And nothing against each of us, but everybody's personality doesn't match all the time. And that's okay. But that's the importance of a BRA. Once we've gone on those few showings and we've established that connection and that trust, it's important to make a commitment to each other. From here, we can then transition on to the home buying process itself. What does that process look like from offer to close? How do we get the offer ready? When are you most available to sign? These are important things to know because the home buying process can be pretty time sensitive depending on current market conditions. I will also go over best practices, how we can put together the best offer, and what I can do to prepare for an offer before a showing and after a showing to give us the best chance. I'll also touch on what my obligations are and what your obligations are from the time of an accepted offer to when the property closes. And that can look a little different depending on what offer we actually submit and get accepted. There are also some things that can go wrong between the time of an accepted offer and the closing date. So it's my job to make sure that you're prepared for those things on how to A, avoid them, or how to handle them if they do come up. The final thing we'll touch on in this category is what happens on the day of closing. Who facilitates what and how does it work? What are the expectations of closing day? It can sometimes be confusing because there's a lot of people involved on closing day, but we'll go over those few things and make sure that your expectations are clear. We can finally get into finding you the right home. Finding you the right home is generally a very straightforward process, but we need to discuss how collaborative we want to be. Some people like more communication than others, and some want more involvement than others. Do you want me to take the reins, or are you proactive when it comes to looking for a home? The final thing that I'm going to touch on is, in my opinion, the most important topic that needs to be discussed in order for the buying process to go smooth for both you and I. Personal expectations. This is very important to discuss because it's my goal to make sure that you have the best experience possible when it comes to buying a home that you will have and will ever have. Not only that, but I enjoy building a relationship with my clients. I want a friend after all of this, which is why I'm going to treat you with the utmost respect throughout the entire process. And I expect the same from you as well. I know you have a life, you may have a family, you have work hours, and you probably have a schedule you follow, as I do as well. And it's important to put these things out on the table. Here's where we're gonna set some personal boundaries as far as time, notice, and scheduling go. I may be available 24 hours a day, but you might not be, or vice versa. But either way, it's important to respect each other's schedules and lives. We're not just available at each other's beck and call, and it shouldn't be that way anyways. With that said, there are certain situations in the home buying process that can be very time sensitive, and I'm going to act accordingly. But I will also do my job to let you know when there may be a time sensitive situation approaching or coming up. And if those situations arise, I will definitely do my job and act accordingly. There may be times where it's very time sensitive to go see a property that you may not be able to make it to, so we can always do video showings. Or if there's houses that you want to see, and the very rare case that I can't make it to a showing, I have a lot of colleagues who I can get to cover me, making sure you can still go see the homes that you want to see. I believe this is the most important aspect of my buyer consultation because in order for us to have a smooth process, which can sometimes be drawn out, it's very, very important that we respect each other and our schedules. And that's my buyer consultation in a nutshell. Whether you're working with me or another agent, you should really make sure that you're having this conversation before you start the home buying process. This conversation is going to educate you on everything from A to Z, set expectations, and that way there's no surprises along the way, and you and your agent are respecting each other and building a meaningful connection and friendship along the way. And that is how you have the best possible buying experience. If you know someone who's looking to buy, please share this video with them. I think it's going to be very helpful and informative for them, but I also love meeting new people. I love building meaningful connections, and I'm passionate about creating awesome, enjoyable real estate experiences. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe so I know that you want more of this real estate content. I'll see you next time.